Level 80. In search of the Azure Star. Jude appears troubled. Dear, oh dear, if only he were here to help. Goodness me, you gave me quite the scare. Do I know you? I must apologize, as you've likely already gathered. I am rather easily startled. All to miss? I heard you have work for me. Ah, yes, you see, I, Jude, belong to the Faculty of Astronomy and am listed in the Classical Astronomers Association. Despite the name, I am a sole member. Until this last year, we were far more in number, but the other students graduated just as I joined. I remain part of an association that, but for my efforts, is obsolete, you might ask. The reason is quite simple. I thought it would allow me free access to their telescope. Recently, however, the Faculty of Astronomy and all its constituents, the Classical Astronomers Association included, have been urged by the Forum to contribute to the national project. As a result, I am unable to use the telescope at my own discretion. Only my problems ended there. After I had taken over the association's activities, I came to learn the telescope was not only old, but in a state of total disrepair. I have, of course, since attempted to have it repaired, but no craftsman is willing to accept my request. Patience has led me to attempt to restore it myself. All I've accomplished is making the situation worse, beyond recovery even. My apologies, I've started to ramble. So you're a craftsman that's been sent by Ki Aliapo? I am terribly sorry. Despite having come all this way, there is no longer any telescope to restore. Well, if there's no telescope that needs repairing, why not just make a new one? Indeed, the possibility had not even crossed my mind. Oh, what I wouldn't give for one of those new lenses I've heard so much about. Precision and clarity is said to be without peer, but the funding required would be astronomical. Perhaps if we forgo the latest and greatest in telescope components, the modest budget I've received from the association may suffice to make one. Let's get to work then. Numenon and will no doubt have a plethora of information on the subject of crafting telescopes. While I have an acute fear of crowded places, my desire to look upon the stars is enough to see me through the task. So I hope. Jude brushes off, his last words still ringing in your head. You take off in the direction of Numenon after him. Do I now? As I do. Oh, you're here to lend me a hand in searching for the necessary tomes? Thank you. Only one other person has ever extended to me such kindness. 87.96% of those I've encountered have approached me, words dripping with honey, looking only to take advantage of my purse strings. Enough about that. Somewhere among these tomes are documents detailing the intricacies of telescopes. Let us split up and search for them. Please, should you find any relevant documents, bring them to me. History of observatories. Encyclopedia of Astronomical Telescopes. Astronomer's comprehensive overview of the star lens. Finding one for me. You stumble across any leads? I think that you've managed to find 3 whole tomes. Excellent work. Let's have a look, shall we? History of observatories. This appears to be all about observatories and the massive telescopes they boast. While the content contained within these pages is near perfect, to create the telescope detailed here would require a budget on par with a national project. Let's now take a look at the Encyclopedia of Astronomical Telescopes. What a treasure of a tome. It outlines the entirety of how telescopes are made, down to the smallest of details. Fortunately, we have only enough gil to cover a fraction of the cost of the parts listed here. Let us see what this last one has to offer. An astronomer's comprehensive overview of the star lens, huh? Star lens? I've never heard of such a thing. According to this, it is an ancient tool used by astronomers to read the stars and can be produced at a reasonable cost. But what good would such an ancient tool accomplish in today's world of astronomy and optics? It doesn't even use a lens. Then again, it is within my means. Ask you to craft one for me? Well, I can only offer you the meager stipend our association receives from the Studium in exchange. I hope you'd consider it. You have my sincerest of thanks. Now then, there is a little time to waste. I have already requested to use the space. Let us make our way to the workshop. We run in. According to my calculations, we should have just enough in the way of funds to craft a star lens. The question that remains, however, is if it will be powerful enough to aid me in my pursuit. If only he were here. It isn't Jude. You're looking gloomy as ever. Eek, who's there? Oh, it's you, Jeremiah. Have you finally decided to join the Faculty of Astronomy? I know not to which Jeremiah you are referring, but this one shines brighter than any of those so-called stars you gaze upon. You're the only Jeremiah I know. You should know that, seeing as we've been friends since childhood. Dude, I'm terribly disappointed. 10 whole years have passed since we first met. I had thought you'd grow out of it eventually, yet you insist on immersing yourself in this tedious, unrewarding work. We are pupils of the Studium. It is all but blasphemy to whittle away the best of your years, nose stuck between dusty old tomes. Why don't you set aside your wayward aspirations and join me in the Faculty of Literature? We might even be able to fetch you a decent-looking bride. Recently joined the Poetry Lovers Club. We speak on love and life while sipping the finest of teas. Does that not sound pleasurable to you? Jeremiah, was it not you who introduced me to the wonders of astronomy? What made you lose interest in the subject? It's neither here nor there. I'm simply worried you're wasting away here, all on your own. Just promise me you'll think on it, all right? What's your relationship to him? Was that your friend? I must apologize for not introducing you. That was Jeremiah, a childhood friend of mine. Ever since I could remember, we would spend our nights together gazing up at the stars. It was a decade ago when it happened. The two of us took part in an astronomer's workshop. One night when we were looking up at the night sky, we spotted a mysterious blue light. Concluding it was an unidentified celestial body, we immediately notified the Studium's Faculty of Astronomy. No matter how much they searched, they were unable to find the light we had seen. In the end, the Studium chalked it up to ramblings of an imaginative schoolchildren. Out of sheer frustration, we decided to join the Faculty of Astronomy, vowing to one another that we'd one day rediscover the azure body we saw that day. Jeremiah, being a summer older than I, enrolled first. When I finally entered, it was as though he were a different person, all vestiges of the old Jeremiah and the promise we made one another forgotten. I joined this faculty hoping to fulfill our dream of the decade prior, yet ever timid and easily cowed, I do not see how I will accomplish this alone. With Jeremiah always leading the way, without him I am lost. You're not alone. You've got me. Get a hold of yourself. Please do not be upset. I do not know what I can do or how far I will get, but I suppose I must at least try. Thank you very much. You've done so much for me already, but I have yet to even ask your name. I'm looking forward to working with you. Level 80, in search of the Azure Star. Complete. Faculty of Astronomy Studium deliveries unlocked. May now undertake deliveries for the Faculty of Astronomy at the Studium. Please speak to Jude to learn more. Level 80, the world without you. Jude is eager to begin work on the Starlands. Let us waste no time in getting to work. I would like to ask you to craft Starlands braces. They are arguably the most important pieces. Studium delivery commenced. You may now undertake deliveries for the Faculty of Astronomy at the Studium. By delivering the requested items to Jude and raising yourself in his esteem, you can advance the story of his efforts to manufacture a Starland. Items with a higher collectability will result in greater rewards upon delivery. Speak to Jude to view the custom deliveries list. Class. Studium. Thank you for agreeing to assist. Please deliver the braces here once you've finished. Not reading. But stunning craftsmanship. Your talent is incredible. You are a star amongst stars. Making your first successful delivery, you have begun to earn Jude's trust. Deliver the items Jude needs and deliver them often to improve your standing with the Faculty of Astronomy. Thank you. Without your help, I'd have no hope of ever finishing the Starlands. Listen here, Jude. Today I'm going to show you how to make the most of what should be the best summer of your life. Are you familiar with the concept of barbecues? Barbecues? It is a culinary practice originating from the archipelagos off the coast of the New World. Various cuts of meat are thoroughly braised over the span of half a day. Many of our peers prefer studying alone in the dreary silence, but that is not so with the Poetry Club. We gather around the fire of the barbecue, discussing the finer points of literature, reciting poetry as we watch the meat smoke and sear. Perhaps the flames that sear the meat will finally ignite a fire in your heart large enough to propel you into action. At long last, you'll be able to declare your undying love for that homely yet somehow still alluring girl. What do you say? Honestly, I do not know why you would come to me with such a proposal. Join our poetry club, Jude. Just have one taste and you'll realize exactly what you're missing out on. Here, Mary, you live boldly and elegantly. Unlike you, however, I am a solitary creature. Just the thought of eating across from another is enough to send chills down my spine. Nonsense. Surely you at least take meals with your peers. You are my only friend. So sad. You jest. I never learned how to make friends. They do not teach you that at school. This is but further evidence you mustn't remain here alone and isolated. I'll continue to visit until I get that through your thick head. He's trying. Jeremiah never fails to impress me. He has so many friends who, unlike me, are all outgoing and full of cheer. He seems to be having so much fun. Only I could be more like him. You'll get there. With a bit of effort, you can. Get a hold of yourself. You're right. Lamenting my situation will get me nowhere. Chin up, Jude. If you're always looking down, you'll forget to look at the stars. Exactly. Think you're witty, huh? Seems I am beyond help. Thank you for that. However, perhaps I would not have needed comforting had your words not cut so deep. I am, after all, an extremely fragile creature. That said, we still lack the necessary parts to complete the star lens. Still have a few things to take care of, but you'll be hearing from me again before long. Thanks to her encouragement, my heart, which was as weak as a marmot, has now grown a bit tougher. Tough enough to match pudding. Level 80, the world without you, complete. Studium delivery complete. Team level increased. Jude now considers you a marginally scary individual. Jude is pleased with your efforts. He now only considers you to be a marginally scary individual. Level 83, Poetry Recital. Jude appears eager to continue his work with you. Aha, Zilly, just the woman I wanted to see. I have another request to make of you. Would you be up to the task? Thank you. I need for you to craft what is to be the heart and soul of the star lens. See, an ordinary telescope picks up starlight, whereas the star lens captures ethereal flickers. This requires what is known as an ethereal lens. While of course materials of a high grade are important, it's the craftsmanship that determines quality, to which I turn to you. Studium delivery commenced. We'll get you some friends, buddy. Ah. They come back to bite me. How did that not work properly? Like it, it just didn't work properly. But take it even though it's at like 0 collectability? I have enough stuff to make another one. We'll see. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. Yeah, didn't do it. Yeah, 1 collectability. I don't have enough stuff to make another one, do I? Oh, that stinks. We're gonna have to go buy some more stuff. I'm not going for it. We're in the middle of things. What a pain. I don't know why I did. Need one. I didn't go through all the trouble getting all of this stuff ahead of time, so I would have to come and purchase it again. Yeah, this one I at least start off with something like a major pain. It'll still end up being quicker than the gathering quest. Fishing's going to take a while. Magnificent, even to the untrained eye. It is easy to see the craftsmanship is second to none. With this ethereal lens, we will be able to detect even the most distant of the ethereal bodies. Once again, I am indebted to you. We are still on the early stages of our journey, but I hope we can continue to press forward with the same amount of fervor. Dude, sequestering yourself in such confined quarters will eventually take a toll on your mental health. Come, there is fun to be had in the outside world. What exactly does this fun you speak of entail? Allow me to illustrate. I began this morning with a splendid cup of freshly brewed coffee from the last stand. Shortly thereafter, we all gathered at Ox Landing to perform a public poetry recital. I have no poems to recite. It is the spirit that counts. Poetry will help you learn to express yourself more fully, Jude. In fact, why don't you give it a try right now? Make sure you really put your feelings into it. I suppose I can give it a try if it means I can become a bit more like you. Soul shrouded by the dark abyss, the tears that pour forth as blood-stricken rain solidify the poison that nestles in my heart. The world returns to nothingness. Not bad for on the spot. I regress. Perhaps you need not delve so deeply into your feelings. That aside, now you've had a taste of what our sessions entail and what it is like to live every day to the fullest. With your grades and brain-changing faculties should be fairly straightforward. By my next visit, I expect you'll have joined the Faculty of Literature and our Poetry Club. Well, I know Jeremiah intends well. Abandoning my studies in pursuit of literature would mean relinquishing my dream of locating the Azure Star. Can't give up on your dreams. If your resolve is so weak, perhaps you should consider moving to the Faculty of Literature. Get a hold of yourself. You're absolutely right. The whole reason I joined the Studium and this association was to see my goals through. Thank you for always being so supportive and returning me to my senses. I just wonder why Jeremiah is so unrelenting in his attempts to have me withdraw from my studies. I do not understand. Astronomy was his first love. If we were momentarily sidetracked, I would like to thank you once again for your help. I am eager to continue our work together. With you by my side, the resolve in my heart has hardened, and I feel as though the strength of a chocobo rages within me. Level 83, Poetry Recital complete. Studium delivery complete. Team level increased. Jude now considers you an individual that takes time to warm up to a stranger. Jude is delighted with your efforts. He now considers you an individual that takes time to warm up to a stranger's. Level 85, one step forward. Jude eagerly awaits you. Let us jump straight into the next part of the process. I said you would craft another vital part of the Starlands. You see, the operation of this particular type of telescope requires highly specialized magic. While I understand the mechanics behind this magic, the sheer volume required far surpasses that at my disposal. Please, might you be so kind as to craft ethereal amplifiers for me? There are no words to express how thankful I am. Not only are you assisting me with my producing in the Starlands, but you continue to encourage me every step of the way. Studium delivery commenced. Hope these go off without a hit. The ethereal amplifiers should finally be able to channel enough magic to operate our Starlands. Absolutely perfect, thank you. Just finished looking over the last delivery. We're so close to having all the parts necessary to begin assembly. Dude, today must be your lucky day. The ever-busy Jeremiah has decided to grace you with his presence. Who are these people? No doubt they're here to extort coin from me. I must report them to the Studium's guard post-haste. Thinking aloud again, are we? You need not worry, they are with me. In fact, they are members of the poetry group I mentioned. I've brought them here so everyone could get acquainted. Nice to meet you, Jude. She's speaking to me? Poor guy. Of course she's speaking to you. That is, of course, the reason we are here, is it not? You must be the craftswoman assisting Jude. Do you also feel free to drop in on one of our poetry meets sometime, should it strike your fancy? So what do you think? A magnificent group of people, are they not? We were just on our way to the last stand. Would you care to join us? Steady now. Jeremiah is trying to help you. He knows you have no friends and is attempting to coax you out of your shell. You really should be thankful, truly. Absolutely not. You made one friend. Why is it so hard to make others? Apologies, but I am currently in the middle of producing something known as a star lens. Perhaps another time. What is this nonsense? Come now, Jude, join us this one time. Only regret awaits should you continue down this dark path. How can you say that with such certainty? Aye. Trust me, he knows exactly what he's talking about. Please, that's enough. Let us just be on our way, shall we? Having to meet new people is quite draining, I must say, however. I'm rather proud of myself. Normally I would have been so nervous even the thought of speaking would cause me to lose consciousness. I must be growing. You did well. You're improving. Get a hold of yourself. It is you I have to thank. Your continued support has allowed me to really blossom. Now, enough about me. We are so close to the finish line. With just a bit more work, the Starlands will be complete. Before we proceed, however, there is one thing I must confirm. Please come back to see me when you next find the time. Thanks to Zilly, the chocobo in my heart has transformed into a mighty goblet. Level 85, one step forward, complete. Studium delivery complete. Esteem level increased. Jude now considers you a good-natured individual. Jude is overjoyed with your efforts. He now considers you a good-natured individual. New quest continuing the story of Faculty of Astronomy is now available. Level 85, a 10-year promise. Jude appears very determined. Last we met, I mentioned there was something I needed to confirm before proceeding. This something concerned with Jeremiah. Joining the Studium, I have not had the chance to have a proper discussion with him. There is so much I would like to ask him, such as why he refuses to speak of our vow from 10 years ago, or why he insists so fervently that I drop my studies. For the longest time, I was too scared to confront him. I thought if he had truly lost interest in astronomy, maybe we wouldn't have anything in common anymore, and... Never mind, that's no longer relevant. Thanks to you and our Starlands journey, I've become confident enough to face my fears head on. I plan to meet Jeremiah and ask him what happened to the promise we made at the exact spot where we encountered the Azure Star in Tranquility. I'm positive that if I ask him to come, Jeremiah will find another clever excuse to avoid me. Please, would you be so kind as to ask him in my stead? Thank you. You can likely find him at Ox Landing, reciting poetry with his friends. Meantime, I make my way to Tranquility and wait for you and Jeremiah there. Get the left of the year. Blinded me with science. You there, you're the craftswoman helping out at the Faculty of Astronomy. I take it you're not here to recite poetry. You're looking for Jeremiah? Sure, I can point you in his direction, but you have to do something for me first. See, there's this girl. She spurned my advances a few days ago. And I can see you're also flabbergasted to learn she rejected a dashing young man such as myself. What do you need me to do? Hurry up and tell me what you want already. Aren't we snappy? Well, I know just the thing that will elevate me from simply charming to outstanding. A set of classy writing utensils. I want you to craft them for me. We'll, of course, see that you are furnished with everything you need. After all, such consideration is the defining quality of a gentleman. Just as his boy right next to me for materials. He still owes me a rather large sum of gold and will see that all your expenses are covered. Let's hurry and get this over with. I cannot stand being indebted to him for a moment longer. Once you finish crafting me my utensils, you can deliver them directly to me. Excellent. With this exquisite set, I will no doubt be able to produce poetry beyond that of the average club member. She will have no choice but to rethink her foolish decision. Ah, right, you wanted to know where Jeremiah is. You can find him at Scholar's Harbor right about this time. A real wet blanket this one is, if you ask me. I need to say that he's only just joined and he has yet to settle in, is all. What faculty did he transfer over from again? He's certainly not going to be happy if I told you. You're going to have to ask someone else. It sounds to me like he's harboring a few secrets then. Yes, the utensils you crafted are superb. Rather than dallying about admiring your handiwork, however, you'd best hurry to Scholar's Harbor if you want to catch Jeremiah. Everyone goes to the harbor. Oh, it's you, the craftswoman working with Jude. What can I do for you? I want to talk to you about Jude. I need to speak with you. You want to speak with me regarding Jude? Very well, I suppose I can spare a few moments if it concerns our dear friend Jude. Shall we talk here, or did you wish to speak in private elsewhere? Tranquility, I'll be on my way then. Jittery. What exactly did you wish to speak with me about? I see, I suspected as much. Of course, I should have known you'd be suspicious. You always have been 2 steps ahead of me. Even so, you still came, and I have words for you that have been left unsaid for far too long. Jeremiah, why did you quit the Faculty of Astronomy? So you know I once presided there. It would be odd if I didn't. Surely even you knew I wouldn't be able to feign ignorance for long. I ask you again, why did you quit the Faculty of Astronomy? 10 years ago, we made a vow at this very spot. We swore together we'd search for and find the Azure Star together. Why would you renege on our promise now? You come to hate astronomy? Me hate astronomy? Ha, please do not be silly. Finding that star meant the world to me. You will also be forced to face the truth one day, just as I have. Allow me to warn you before it is too late. I am but 1 summer older than you. I shed blood, sweat, and tears to ensure I'd be able to earn a place to study at the Studium. I kept silent about which faculty I was to enter because I had hoped to make some progress toward our goals and surprise you with it once you joined. Upon hearing members were free to use a telescope any time, I joined the Classical Astronomical Association. I plan to devote all my spare time to our investigation. For several months, day in and day out, I took that telescope and observed every last corner of the sky without fail. In my utter despair, I was unsuccessful in ever locating the Azure Star. Even so, I refused to give up on our dream. I thought perhaps a more powerful telescope was required, and so after much negotiating with my professors, I was granted leave to use the finest equipment available in the Studium. Yet for all my effort, all my planning, I could not find so much as a glimmer of that bloody star in the night sky. I grew more weary by the day and was eventually forced to come to a harrowing realization. The Azure Star does not exist. It never did, just as the scholars at the Studium told us back then. We imagined it. The Azure Star doesn't exist? If in fact what you say is true, then why not tell me sooner? Same as me, finding that star meant everything to you. How could I possibly tell you that? The Azure Star doesn't exist, then what have I been working towards this entire time? I understand your feelings better than you know. Forgetting about it will take time, but it can be done. Promise me, however, you won't forget this. Jude, I am and always will be your friend and ally. My life without the Azure Star giving me direction and purpose is meaningless. What am I to do? What do you want to do? You're the only one who can give your life purpose. Yes, you're absolutely right. Letting someone or something determine my life's path is the easy way out. I'm the only one that can decide what's right for me. Let's return to Maker's Meat. There is something I would like to investigate. The Maker. If even Jeremy was unable to find it, there is a good chance the Azure Star truly does not exist. There is, however, one other possibility. There's a chance it is out there, just not observable with the tools that were at his disposal. The journey we're about to embark upon is about as dark and uncertain as a flight through the starless night sky. Regardless, I shall not give up. This is a dream I've pursued for a decade. I cannot walk away without a fight. Alone, I would have no hope of continuing Jaramir's work, but with you by my side, perhaps I can accomplish that which even he has not. May I count on your continued assistance? I will see you through your adventure. Well, I can't leave you to your own devices, can I? I knew I could count on you. Thank you. Once I have everything sorted, let us begin production post-haste. Her continued encouragement has really lit a fire in my heart. I feel as fierce as a bomb. Level 85, a 10-year promise, complete. Level 88, astronomical growth. Jude appears anxious to continue with the production of the Starlands. What do you say we pick up where we left off? Where traditional telescopes gather light to project an image, the Starlands captures etheric glimmers and casts that onto the surface of water, hence making stargazing possible. As I was constructing the Starlands, I realized I was missing the very piece that would allow me to do just that. This is where I will need to, once again, borrow your seasoned hands. Might you craft some ethereal conductors for me? Once these are finished, there will be but one thing left to do. Studium delivery commenced. Almost. Counting on you to make me some ethereal conductors. They will allow me to project the ether captured by the star lens onto water. No more purple crafter strips. You have my gratitude. Truly, I am blessed to have crossed paths with a craftswoman such as yourself. I believe our fateful reunion is what shall lead us to the rediscovery of the Azure Star. Excellent. Now I have nearly everything I need. Just one last piece and we'll be one step away from completed star lens. Even if I am unable to find the Azure Star, meeting you has taught me the importance of perseverance. It is a lesson I shall never forget. What am I saying? Of course I will find it. I must. It is a dream I have spent the last decade pursuing. Exactly. Keep up the good work. Get a hold of yourself. I like how it's every option so far. Yes, I will continue to give it my all. When you find the time to craft the final missing piece, please come and find me. I will be here eagerly awaiting your visit. Thanks to her support, the fire in my heart grows by the minute. In fact, it feels almost as though Ifrit has taken up residence within me. Level 88, an astronomical growth complete. Studium delivery complete. Team level increased. Jude now considers you a friend he can confide in. Jude is thrilled with your efforts. He now considers you a friend he can confide in. Level 90, the Promised Star. Jude hopes to speak with you before completing the star lens. Thanks to you, the completion of the star lens is in sight. Without you by my side, I would have no doubt given up before the journey even began, and I speak not just of finding the Azure Star, but also confronting Jeremiah as to why he quit astronomy. Words are not enough to express my gratitude. Now here we stand at the finish line, and I have one last request to make of you. Channeling magic into the star lens requires a wand. Would you please craft one for me? If you ever find yourself short on materials, please help yourself to whatever is in the trunk. You finished crafting the final piece. Absolutely perfect. Now that I have the necessary parts, all that's left to do is search for the Azure Star. When that time comes, might I be so bold as to ask you to join me? There is also one other individual I wish I could be there. That being said, there is no guarantee that the Azure Star even exists. I do not wish to disappoint them again. Even so, I would like to search the skies once again with Jeremiah. After all, it was a dream we shared for a decade. Not at least asking would be the form of betrayal in itself. Given the time, he is most likely at Ox Landing, reciting poetry with his friends. As soon as I finish putting everything together, I will go straight there. Please wait with Jeremiah for me at Ox Landing. Hi, it's you again. I apologize, but we have nothing more to discuss. You may have nothing more to say, but I have plenty. Dude. Star lens that Zilly and I have been working on is now complete. It would mean the world to me if you came to watch me begin my search for the Azure Star. Sorry, Jude, I'm afraid that is something I cannot do. What do you mean you cannot? This is your childhood friend we're talking about. You should go with him. If the Azure Star truly doesn't exist, isn't it your duty to be by his side when he learns the truth? You don't understand. I searched for a decade for that star, and it's nowhere to be found. Decade? Surely you jest. What an absolute waste of time that was. Ah, to think you were this close to throwing out all the best years of your life chasing a figment of your imagination. Such a thing existed, the top academics in the Faculty of Astronomy would have already found it. Did you not even take that into consideration? By the gods, you must be even dumber than that sack of rocks. You. How dare you speak such atrocities? Are you talking to me? You nor anyone else has the right to ridicule us. Threaten and laugh at me all you like. You will not strip me of my dream. Maybe what you need is some sense knocked into you. Uh-oh. Strongly recommend against that. You see that craftswoman there? She's an adventurer from overseas and certainly not someone you want to pick a fight with, even if you don't stand a chance. Even you don't stand a chance. Yeah. You best watch your back. Dude, in all our years together, I don't think I've ever seen you so upset, much less speak up the way you did. I admit I surprised myself a little. My heart is still pounding. Just couldn't let it go when I thought about everything you had invested, the audacity he has to utter such words. I lived, ate, and breathed that dream. When I discovered there was no hope of fulfilling it, the despair that overcame me was beyond words. I felt worthless. That's why I could say nothing earlier. Even if some of the members of the Poetry Club are a little rough around the edges, this is the only place I have. When we were children and I was crying because I did not fit in with the others, you invited me to join you in stargazing. You gave me a place to belong in this world. And now I'm asking you to join me in that place once more, gazing up at the skies. Very well, but this will be it for me, Jude. Let us make our way to Scholar's Harbor. I must first return to the workshop and retrieve the star lens. I will meet the two of you there. I think that Jude has changed so drastically in such a short span of time. It seems what he needed was not someone to take him by the hand, but rather coax him forward from behind. The harbor. Can be hard to do in the middle of the day, huh? Change to night scene. There we go. Let us begin then. So this is the star lens. It doesn't look like much. 10 years ago on that fateful day, we were attempting to observe the constellations aligning with the fifth heaven's gate. I will begin by positioning the star lens in the same manner. Incredible, absolutely incredible. The stars can be seen with such clarity. However, the azure star we saw back then does not shine among them. Not that I expected anything different. After all, one cannot see, even with the state-of-the-art technology, that which does not exist. Did well, Jude. The star lens is quite an impressive piece of work. Wait. It is for this exact reason the amplifier exists. Or do we need more? Dude, I want to believe it exists just as much as you, but it exists. It's there somewhere right before our very eyes. Please reveal to us your brilliance once more, just as you did 10 years ago. Jeremiah, look, it's real. It truly does exist. We didn't imagine it. It's real. Why did I give up so easily? Jude, you are extraordinary. It's all thanks to you that our decade of hard work did not go to waste. Reminds me, did you see where Jeremiah wandered off to? He was with us when we entered the Studium grounds. Ah, yes, this feels much better. Now that's more like the Jeremiah I know. Would you agree this style suits him better? It looks good. That's some nice fabric. Oh, they found the Azure Star. What's the point of keep doing astronomy? Dream fulfilled. Pick something else. By the sound of it, Zilly wholeheartedly agrees. Thank you, at least for attempting to mask your distaste with polite compliment. Either way, I've finally come to realize that simply transforming my appearance does not change who I was on the inside. That is neither here nor there. What I wish to talk about is the Azure Star. There is something about it that has me niggling at the back of my mind. Has been niggling. How is it you succeeded with ancient lens made of water where the latest, most advanced equipment of the Studium failed? Ah, of course. Star lens allows us to see by capturing not the light of the stars, but their ether, correct? I see you believe that due to how far away the Azure Star resides from us, a traditional telescope would have trouble capturing the light it emits. Star lens, meanwhile, can capture an image of its ether, the very life force of the star. Scarcely imagine how much further our technology must advance for telescopes to perceive such distant celestial bodies. Strange, then, how we were able to see the Azure Star all those years ago. How do you suppose we accomplished such a feat? At the time we were using a toy crafted for children, the lens, contrary to proper telescopes, was made from low-quality crystal. The ether of that crystal lens is likely what allowed us to pick up on the star's glow. After we reported what we saw, the Faculty of Astronomy conducted their own observations under similar, if not identical, conditions and found nothing. What if the intensity of its ethereal emissions is prone to periodic fluctuations, an ethereal cycle, if you will? Stands to reason that night 10 years ago the Azure Star had reached its peak. A brief miraculous window wherein the star's ether was such that we could catch a glimpse with our crystal lens telescope. Incredible as always, Jeremiah. You've always been very sharp. Sharp or not, my abilities pale in comparison to your sheer drive. Jude, thanks To said drive, we have rediscovered an alternate means of viewing stars in the night sky. If your theory is correct, then that means there are far more stars out there than we ever even suspected waiting to be discovered. It would certainly seem that way. This may very well revitalize and revolutionize the field of astronomy. Let us continue working together to find them, Jeremiah. Let us continue to breathe life into the dreams of those two young boys from 10 years ago. Dude, you forget I am no longer with the Faculty of Astronomy. In case you've already forgotten, I'm a rather persistent fellow. I waited this long, I can stand to wait a bit longer for your return. I cannot argue with that. Never did I think when we began this journey that it would come to such a spectacular end. Thank you once again. While our time together was short, it was incredibly fruitful. I am devastated to have to say goodbye. We, however, shall continue to reside under the same stars. When I want to remember our time together, I will simply look to the skies. I pray we will meet again. You shall always remain a treasured and true friend of mine. Fires of Ifrit, nay, the Phoenix, have taken up residence in my heart, where they will continue to burn forevermore. Level 90, the Promised Star. Complete. Team contributor, Faculty of Astronomy, you have completed all of Jude's tasks. Jude is deeply moved by your efforts. He now considers you a treasured and trusted friend. Keep an eye out for others at the Studium who require the help of an able artisan. You never know who might be in need of your skills. Achievement unlocked, Starry Night. Yay.